Hello humans, this is Random Wizard and welcome to the Random World. We're going to be playing Medieval Fantasy Rogue's Choice Chapter 20 Best Choices, a Battle of Godlings. So we finished the chapter, let's go for the best choices. Let's begin. This was not the best choice. We lost 3 life in this. Order the nearby demons to eat him. So we're going to stab him with my pike. Morale increases 1. You, what do you think? You ask, pointing to an incubus flying above you. Can you survive a minute without eating? The incubus frowns his full eyebrows, gives you a confused smile with his voluptuous lips. He obviously didn't expect to be brought into this conversation. The mouth demon takes the bait, looks up at the incubus, and that's where you strike. With pinpoint accuracy, you drive your pike into one of the open mouths in the demon's midsection. Your strength is so great that your thrust punches all the way through the demon. You're carried forward a step by your momentum. Eat that, you shout. The demon bellows in pain and rage. You slide the shaft of the pike through him further as you make in too close for him to make use of his spears. His wings buzz as he tries to escape. The shaft of your pike bends with the strain, but the demon does not manage to lift off. He drops the mangled corpse he was carrying and grapples you with his many arms, trying to rip you with his claws. Your armor protects you, just barely, as you feel a nail ripping through. Egra spoke the truth when she says your armor looks right, but offered little protection. You headbutt him in the face with your horns and punch him in the eye, stunning him enough to let go of you as he falls down on his wings. Feeding time, you shout to the other demons as you step on the chest of the mouth demon, pinning him down. Here is the blood you so desperately desire. Demons converge on him from all sides. It takes a considerable amount of your great strength to push your way out as the mouth demon is ripped apart. You learned that from Azazel? Yeah, we pretty much saw that. That's good, that's good. This was the correct option. He shall carry a message to our enemies. This was the correct option. Send a message to Varys. So apparently we can get an extra morale if we choose the twin gods of nature. But I want to be like correct, on point with that shit. So that's why we're gonna go with a virtuous god of war, because it is the god of war. Like, even if I get an extra morale from the twins god of nature, I think I still want to go with the correct option. That is the correct option. As you should know at this point, that I don't like to play for just points. I like to go for choices that I particularly like, even if they end up like hurting to some extent. But yeah, so we're gonna go with the correct option that we know of, Virtuous God of War, which we went with last time. This was the correct choice. That is the son of Virtuous. So this was technically the correct choice. Ordered range attacks first. If you choose any of the last 2 options, you basically lose 3 life. But the first option gives you a morale but takes away 4 life. So if you're going for points, you want to go for order of full charge. But I'm gonna go with the same one that I went with no, I'm just gonna go with full charge. I'm gonna want to see how that ends up. Just to see how it looks. Morale increases 1. Since you probably won't be able to hold back the demons anyway, you might as well give the order. I just want to see what happens. Charge, you shout. As you suspected, several demons have already begun charging before the word was out of your mouth, and many more are only too happy to carry out your order. Grind him into stones, you call after them. Medrod cries out in joy as he leaps off the pile of bodies, sheathes his sword, and frees up one hand, which is suddenly grasping an orc's horn. He brings it to his lip as he charges forward to meet your horde of demon. The blast from the horn drowns out the cacophony of the demons. It blares one of power. Strong magic, you think. This thought is quickly confirmed as Medrod bodies blurs and then splits into 2 separate selves, each of it then splits into doubles as well. The cycle of duplication continues in rapid succession until there is suddenly a platoon of Medrods, identical to in all ways except for the weapons they carry. What a trick that is, he says Egra. Happily, he truly is Legion, not the son of Virtuous, but the sons of Virtuous. With great speed and precision, these Medrods form close ranks. No, this is the same, I think. Yeah, this is the same. Wonderful. The demonic crow cried with the fierce crash of steel, snarls and roars. Most of the host has not bothered to charge the lone soldier, but now they're all charged, swirling in. Yes. Wonderful cries. This is pretty much the same as far as I can tell. Hewing them with same thing. This was not the correct option. I used the slippery spell when they were approaching us, but apparently that was not better. I think we should just take cover, which we did eventually anyway. So we just essentially skipped a fucking page of dialogue, which is good. 2 more arrows deflect off your armor if you take cover in the alley. In the alley, you find a gaping hole. Yeah, this is the same thing after that. We'll just continue from in the house we went in. This was not the best option. The setup and ambush is what I went with last time, but the better option would have been to rally the demons to guard you. Morale increases 1, favor increases 2. Better to spend the lives of demons than your own, you think. To me, you shout, defend the Lord of Kree. None of the demons seem to notice. They're too focused on the battle. A lone Medrod emerges from the smoke, spear in hand and shield in the other. His helm is gone, showing his full face wreathed by his male coif. He is handsome. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, we have all read this. Defend the Lord of Kree, you shout. The selfish commander, Agra, laughs. Perfect. Spearman charges at you in an alley. An Orthrax demon carrying a large maul, a long-handed hammer, lumbers him over to intercept him. The Medrod expertly thrusts his spear up into the throat of the Orthrax, dropping the demon. There's a crackling sound as a black bolt from above strikes the Medrod, knocking him on his back. An Incubus smiles down at you. Someone listened, you think. Having seen how tough these Medrods are, you rush forward to finish him off. Sure enough, the Medrod sits up, but you quickly stab your pike through his male coif and throat. He thrashes and snaps the shaft of your pike. Another pair of Medrods slam their way through the thick of battle and head in your direction. One has a spear and shield, while the other has a broadsword. The Incubus above aims his hands at the pair, but we can release his spells. The spearman hurls his spear with amazing speed and accuracy, skewering the Incubus through the chest. No sooner did the dead Incubus hit the street than the spearman was already there, retrieving his weapon. You turn and run, which is pretty much the same. After that, we run into a house. This was the correct option. Throw things. This was the correct option. Offer the amulet as a gift. This was not the correct option. I'm amazed. It says weave your way to the alley. It was the correct option. So let's do that. Morale increases 1. You run weaving between combatants while keeping a hand on the hilt of your sword. But don't feel your blade for fear. Draw your blade for fear of attracting attention. Watch out, the demons and Medros are quite focused on each other. A demon does lunge at you at one point. Another takes a casual swipe at your face with his claws as you run by, both of which are easily dodged. Quickly get to the alley's entrance and duck down behind a large corpse as further down the alley. It is swiftly crawling. The spider-like demon. His large green eyes are fixed on the battle beyond, so you freeze in the place, hoping it will not notice you. To your relief, it clambers by to join the fray, a wave of sour stench wafting off of it. You get to your feet and prepare to run. Do not leave, my champion, comes Agra's voice. It is faint. You do not feel her presence within you. It reminds you when you were looking for her in Drala's tower and she spoke to you telepathically, despite not possessing you. Stay for a while. There is nothing but death out there. I could still use your help. Turn back to the battle immediately. Immediately you meet the gaze of the Medrod with his amulet. He smiles at you, then he disappears back into the chaos of battle. What do you need me for? You ask. There is no answer. Well, I suppose I could rest here for a moment. But if you are listening, Agra, I know that I could have left you if I wished. You owe me. That's a good one. Again, there is no answer, but you feel a brief burst of warmth within, a divine hint of gratefulness. With your spirit uplifted, you hide behind the sticky demon corpse and situate yourself so that its many horns do not poke you too much. You're trying to find a position with a good view of the battle, but you only afford a very partial view, lest you are too exposed. From a limited perspective, the battle is whirling mass of golden armor and terrible eyes, teeth, and horns. At some point, you shut your eyes to try to shield yourself from the nastiness of it all. It is not exactly restful. After all, the stink and terrible sounds don't allow for that, but it still feels better to at least block out some parts of it. You are playthings of the gods, you think, remembering the old saying. Here you lie, perhaps waiting for death, as Agra plays out her immortal politics. This is the same thing, right? Yes, it's the same thing, I'm sure. It should be around here when we pull out from under it. Yeah, same thing. Kill on sight. Yeah, same thing. At some point you realize that the battle of... yeah, same thing. So you decide to risk lifting your head up from your hiding place to get a better view. Okay. This was the correct option. Try to lead the Quasit away with an illusion. This was not exactly the correct option. I mean, you can draw your sword and charge, will give you 2 morale, take away 3 life, and you can also pretend you didn't see it and prepare to run. We'll do that this time. I wanna see what happens with that. You turn back and face forward, fighting the urge to run. You can feel the malevolence of the monster as it watches you from behind. Quicken your pace as you walk around the corpses of the giants, hiding yourself from the shadow demon's eyes. That is, if such a beast sees with its eyes. With the mountains, the corpse blocking you from view, you now sprint. You pick up the course that you hope will keep you hidden behind the corpses for as long as possible. There's a hissing in your mind, one of rage, not another possession, you think. Looking back, you see the monster pursuing you. It's like a wraith or a ghost. You have a good head start and you're a fast runner. However, the monster is gaining on you quickly. Just then a blood-curdling howl over rubble and corpses, a huge fiendish dog bounds towards you. It is on fire, flames and smokes. Yeah, the same thing. The shadow demon breaks off the pursuer, seeps into a nearby wall. If the demon is afraid, then they're very bad signs, since they appear to be set on you. Finding these devils looks like a long odds. For a split second, you consider telling them that you're a... Yeah, same thing after that. So I think this is not the best choice. Just keep running, loses a lot of life. And the one I used, Slippery Spell and Fight, also loses life, a lot of it, and Favor as well, and gives you a bit of morale. But I think I'm just gonna go Slippery Spell and Run this time. We chose Slippery Spell and Fight last time, so we're gonna go Slippery Spell and Run. Favorite Crisis 2, you turn and focus on the alley, meaning to coat the long and narrow strip, including a face-down corpse, what must be a woman, seems the battered remains of her fine blue dress. The release of power is familiar, yeah, same thing. You turn and run. Will the Slippery Spell cover my scent? That's a good question, champion, says Agra. Perhaps we shall find out. You focus on the breathing as you pour on the speed. Hopefully the forward momentum of the hounds won't catch them beyond the slippery patch. No matter what, it will serve as a distraction. Yeah, it's the same thing after that. This was the correct option, asked Vermeil to aid the castle defense. So this is fascinating. This is very interesting. So stay vigilant and watch your back. Will lose 4 life because you don't know that guy is a vampire. When you call for mermaid, you get 1 favor, but you lose, which is what we showed last time. You still lose 4 life because you don't know that guy's vampire. Inspect the nearby corpses. I thought we were looking for loot because the game said we were looking for loot. But there's a possibility that we can actually find out that this guy's a vampire by, checking the wounds on the corpses. So let's do that. Watch our bags, you whisper to Kriya as you walk over the nearest corpse and turn him over. His throat has been ripped out, although surprisingly there is a little blood pooled around him. He has a long bow beside him, his string snapped, rendering it but a straight shaft of wood. It was likely not as good as your own bow anyway. Do not be such a ghoul, whispered Kriya. You're about to loot the bodies of Theodman's companions? Not sure he cares, you think. He's just left them out here. You go to the next shelf as you hear a chains rattle and the drawbridge begin to creak. You turn this one from his back into the sides. The first thing you notice are 2 marks of his throat. You know those, you have seen them on your reflection in the mirror after Runor had suckled from you. Vampire. There was no other thing unusual about him other than his corpse-pale skin. He must have been drained dry. Now the drawbridge is halfway down. You whisper over to Kriya and whisper in her ear, vampires. Kriya crinkles her brow and looks both skeptical and confused. You nod towards the body. They have been drained of their blood and one has the mark of a vampire. She turns as though to inspect the body herself, but you put a hand on her arm and lean in. No, Theodman may be the one of them. Just be on your guard. You're paranoid, she hisses. I've learned to be, you think. Paranoid is one cost you have paid in your recent adventures. You draw your sword, sure enough it glows. Granted, it has been more or less glowing all the time as of late. Do not do anything stupid, she whispers. Robis thumbs down and the elf stands on the far end. He is dressed in a well-fitted leather armor, has a long bow slung on his back and a quiver slung on his side. He has an inviting smile for Kriya. Excited for fresh blood, you think. The elf's eyes land on the blades on your sword and his smile disappears. You shall be safe within these walls. What manner of enemy attacked you? He asks, ignoring his assurances. Fiend, says the elf through gritted teeth. From hell or the abyss, I cannot really say. They had horns, tails, wings, tails and such, you ask. The elf bites his lip for a moment and says, yes, there was such a feature within their numbers, and all of them were monstrous to behold. Kriya is glaring at you. A lie. Vampires is what attacked you think. Kriya, wake up and prepare to aid your champion. Kriya courtesies and begins walking at the same time. Be a proper guest and sheath your weapon. She turns and hisses at you. Decides that surprise is your best bet for now. You go ahead and sheath your sword. Bowing to Theodman and pardon my manners, I thank you for your hospitality. He nods at you. You then hurry and after Kriya cross the bridge. Okay, so these options are changed. As you can see, they're tilted a little bit. So everything else is the same here, except for this line. He must be a cursed vampire, a walking corpse, but he still makes a fine lure to women. So we're gonna look for any of these. There in gods you are strong. This is wait. What? Something has changed. Instinctively, you expect a good mocking for McRae is the same. Perhaps you could a good time. If you're brave. What? Perhaps now would be a good time to strike, but can you be sure? If you're wrong, you have murdered a brave elf. Gods, you're strong. That is easily the task of 2 men. Coos Kriya as she sways up from to the laboring elf. He looks up and grins at her. There's lust in those eyes of her, or hunger, you think. As you put your hand on your sword, Malathrak Abois, shouts Kriya. The witch's delicate hands erupt in flames that instantly engulf the elf. Although you cannot see Theodman through the flames, you hear an unearthly demonic cry of pure rage. Whatever that is, it is no elf. Time to act. A few options come to mind. It is the same thing. So this was very interesting. So now we checked the corpses, so we knew that he was a vampire. That's very cool. So we did not get attacked as we normally would have. This was the correct option. Use your sword, which should be the same, I do believe. Vibrates version, yeah, same thing. This was not the correct option. I went with the second best option, present with your sword. The best option, in my opinion, technically, yeah, best option in my opinion would be retreat back to use your bow and use your bow. Morale increases 3. Retreat as you sheath your bow, unsling your bow. There's a swishing noise behind you, likely from a swing of the halberd. Boom. The thunder is deafening as lightning shoots. Yeah, same thing. Struggling to get up, quickly you notch an arrow and draw back. Now he's standing. There's a large crater in his leather armor near his stomach. The dark blood runs from his waist. Kriya is muttering something arcane sounding nearby, but you keep attention on the elf as you take a moment to aim. The elf snarls as you release the string. The arrow flies true and plunges into his heart. The vampire's predatory eyes bulge for a moment before his body swiftly turns grey and dissolves into a heap. Now all that remains of the vampire is a pile of leather armor and ashes. Yeah, nice shot. Kriya gasps as she catches her breath. Nice work yourself. Yeah, this is the same thing after that. This has changed. I saw the mark upon him. You were right to be suspicious. He smiles at you grimly. I'd say you went a step further than suspicion. Yeah, same thing. Or smelled get. Well, you can thank me. Yeah, this and that. Turns to the folds. It is from now. Yeah, same thing after that. This was the correct option as I had guessed. Apologize for your meanness towards Hawes, which will lead us to the best option, and that should get us 900 points. Wait, didn't we get 920 points then last time I was doing this? I think boosting my stats certainly changed what normally was supposed to happen. Yeah, that's the only reason. Yeah, that makes sense. So boosting my stats definitely put me over the edge and caused me to win the best choices, because that was in no way, shape or form the best choices for this chapter that I did when I was normally playing it. So yeah, the boosting the stats was probably the reason why I got the first rank. Anyway, we got the best rank again, and we have our the best choice of this chapter done. There's a link in the description to the background music, a link in the description to the walkthrough that I read off of. It's right there. Not written by me, again, written by some guy. You can go check it out for yourself. There's also a link to my Patreon, my Twitter. There's a link to the game. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like and leave us leave a comment, subscribe, and bye bye. I'll see you guys next time for chapter 21.